What's going on, guys? Welcome to VOS Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Mvunganyi. We have a jam-packed show today for you. We've got stars celebrating the 75th season of the NBA, a local dance company helping Congolese children displaced by a volcano, and Broadway's brightest designs. Let's get on the show. And we kick off the show today with a star-studded lineup announced for next year's Super Bowl halftime show. You know, everybody looks forward to that. California icons Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar, along with Mary J. Blige and Eminem, will perform at the Big Game in February 2022. The celebration of West Coast hip-hop in one of music's most visible gigs is fitting for the first Super Bowl to be played in Los Angeles in nearly 3 decades. The halftime show is among pop's most coveted slots. You may recall that in 2019, the NFL tapped Jay-Z to steer its musical performances, which the league hailed as a move to promote social justice. Music mogul Dr. Dre has produced albums for each performer in the lineup, with Eminem and Lamar both signed to the producer's Aftermath Entertainment label. In a statement, Dr. Dre said, "The opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show and to do it in my own backyard will be one of the biggest thrills of my career." He called it an unforgettable cultural moment. Canadian artist The Weeknd headlined the halftime performance at this year's Super Bowl, with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira taking the stage in 2020. Statues of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and John Lewis have been unveiled in New York's Union Square by artist Chris Kanabuchi as part of an art exhibition called Sin Injustice. Floyd died in handcuffs, with a white Minneapolis police officer kneeling on his neck for over 9 minutes, and he became the face of a national movement challenging police brutality and bias in the U.S. criminal justice system. George Floyd's brother Terrence Floyd told the AP about his involvement with Kanabuchi and the Confront Art Group in the exhibit.
When I look at it, I say it's beautiful, but I also say change. You know, because the change is what's going to happen. This is people have been telling me this is the first time there's been sculptures like this in New York City. It's usually murals on the wall, you know, but these are statues. These are sculptures, big ones at that. So change is here. Change is here, and I'm looking for it to stay and for us to end this systemic racism and continue to heal together.
But within days, the statue of Floyd was vandalized by a skateboarder throwing paint at it in a video shared by the New York Police Department. All 3 statues, including the ones of Breonna Taylor, the 26-year-old black woman who was fatally shot after police forced entry into her apartment, and the late U.S. Congressman and civil rights activist John Lewis, are made of layers of cut wood and painted gold. Now, many storylines in Hulu's show The Handmaid's Tale are intense and they are dark, but the actor Oti Fenebli says behind the scenes, the cast and creators keep things a little light. Fenebli, who was nominated for a 2021 Emmy for his performance as Luke, June's enduring husband, tells the AP that the tone off camera is very different from the show's dystopian content.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that kind of, you know, sense of humor and laughter and lightness, which comes with really dark projects, because you have to have some kind of balance. You have to have some kind of way of making. So I imagine, because when people watch the show, they just imagine that backstage it's just like whips and chains and like people crying in corners, but it's actually quite gleeful and joyful and silly. But of course, like once you get into the depth of the acting, then, you know, everyone's very professional, and I love that about the show.
Working with lead actor Elizabeth Moss, who plays June, is one of the highlights of the experience for Bentley. Moss is a producer on the show and directed several episodes last season.
Yeah, she's just really constant. I've stopped being surprised by her because she's so surprising. She's so good at everything. She has such a 360 understanding of television making, of story, of lighting, of camera, of truth. I sometimes think of her as having this really almost like an allergic intolerance for things which aren't authentic. And so that makes working with her easy because, you know, things always have to be right.
And speaking of Emmys, the PBS investigative series Frontline received 5 news and documentary Emmy Awards at this year's ceremony, bringing its grand total to 100 Emmy Awards. The series was honored for investigative reporting, video journalism, and storytelling in 3 award categories. One of those was Frontline's The Luanda Leaks, which won the Emmy for Outstanding Investigative Report in a News Magazine for its examination of how Africa's richest woman, Isabella dos Santos, built her empire.
So when I saw them, I felt hope.
Another award went to Once Upon a Time in Iraq, Frontline's 2-hour documentary about Iraqis who personally lived through the Iraqi war. It won the Documentary Emmy for Outstanding Historical Documentary. Producer Aus Haidari spoke exclusively to Red Carpet regarding the film's achievement.
So what we intended to do with this film is to give a platform for Iraqis to talk about what happened to their own country, to let them narrate the story. It's not often heard. The events, what happened in Iraq is not often told through the lens, is not often told through the voices of Iraqis. And this was the intention. We wanted to tell that story again, but tell it through the perspective of the people that actually experienced and went through it. And I think we achieved that with the film.
And now a look at how basketball and film are coming together. A short film celebrating the NBA's 75th anniversary season has debuted, starring actor and producer Michael B. Jordan and more than 30 current and former NBA stars. As part of the NBA 75 flagship campaign, NBA Lane tells the story of the league with a comedic twist as Jordan serves as the bus driver, taking a group of children through the streets of the neighborhood consumed with basketball culture. NBA legend Bill Russell says, "As someone who has been a member of the NBA family for the past 65 years, I can truly say, like I do in NBA land, this game just keeps getting better." He adds that being part of this film alongside so many greats representing nearly 8 decades of the league's history is a great thrill and a tremendous honor. Here is a look.
What's up, Magic? What's up, Larry?
Good morning, neighbor.
Top of the morning. What's up, Magic? How you feeling?
What's up?
Now, when Mount Nyiragongo erupted in May, many families were forced to flee and settle in other areas of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Many young children were placed in shelters. One local dance company is coming to the rescue. The AP has more. Barteka Soleni is clapping his hands and counting in time to the beat. Around him is a small circle of children, stamping their feet and waving their arms with the biggest smiles on their faces. Kasoleni runs Inuka Dance Company in Goma that is helping children overcome the stress and trauma following the eruption of Mount Nyiragongo. He launched a new project, a dance workshop teaching around 40 children aged between 3 to 10 years old, traditional dances and dance games.
We are coaching them to give them a bit of hope. Through these dances, we are showing them that they are important in life too. You know, these children have dreams. They have lots of potential, but they lack the right people to guide them so that they can achieve their goals and overcome their imperfections for a better world.
According to the UN, around 30 people were killed, while 3,500 others lost their homes.
A lot of the children here had to move because of the volcano, because it destroyed their homes and everything. So we say to ourselves, as they are now living in temporary shelters, this is a good opportunity to put them all together and show them that they can learn something from other person. As you said, they are not even from one tribe. They are really different, and we want to encourage this spirit of living and working alongside one another.
One family that was forced to flee the volcano was Jeanette Kavugo and her 9 children. Kavugo says that the dancers brought joy and she felt compelled to send 3 of her children to the workshop.
We are among the displaced families and other people. As you can see, the children do not study. The children don't do anything. So when we saw this dance workshop, we were obliged to send the children so they could learn something. In any case, we displaced people see teaching our children these games is a good thing. because maybe in the future this could produce a positive result. Maybe they could even build a school for these kids.
As the children dance in formation, raising their hands to the sky, the happiness and hope on their faces, however temporary, is as clear as day. New York City's debuting Showstoppers, a bright and colorful exhibit of Broadway theater. VOA's Vladimir Lenski visited the recently opened exhibit, which displays designs that are always in sight but seldom get the spotlight. Anne Rice narrates his story.
The exhibit called Showstoppers showcases over 130 works of contemporary theatrical design.
Here we're standing in front of Whipped Cream, which is an amazing display. Whipped Cream is sort of a fever dream from the American Ballet Theater, where a little boy goes into this world of candy and confections.
Steps from the new ballet classics of choreographer Alexei Ratmansky is the work of Andrew Lloyd Webber, representing over 2 decades of theater.
Oh, we're looking at the iconic Phantom of the Opera costumes. We have obviously Phantom. He's got millinery that's built by Rodney Gordon. His mask is built by Rodney Gordon. That cape is actually from Vincent Costumes, which is a retired costume shop.
The exhibit is dedicated to the behind-the-scenes workers, the costume designers, artists, and costume makers, among others. When Broadway was forced to close last year because of the pandemic, these people, together with actors, singers, and dancers, lost their jobs.
We have a start date for the show I work on, and I'm really excited. Hopefully nothing gets pushed back. We are still sort of working on the assumption that we're coming back in October.
COVID pandemic shut down our industry. In 2020, we collectively lost over $26.6 million, and because our shops couldn't just close down, we had to keep them open, and now we're millions of dollars in debt. So this exhibition is meant to be a fundraiser.
The behind-the-scenes work is in full spotlight. Every day is a new artist's workshop. What Jason Gomez is doing is not a show. He is prepping the Lion King costumes for when they are ready to go on stage again in October.
So this is for people who are in the ensemble, primarily singing. And so, I'm trying to think, they're meant to look like choir robes. So they're very wide and almost like rectangular shaped. And so I am piecing together almost like a quilt, different fabrics and different colors to come together and make like a very geometric shape overall. But between all the different singers, there's many different patterns and many different colors. So it just all looks like a wash of fun color for the production.
The exhibit was put together very quickly, in just 3 months. Workshops and theaters were able to provide the organizers with the props. Exhibit visitors are pleased.
When you watch a show, the costumes are fantastic, but you just don't get to see the details up close and the drapery up close. So being able to see like the detailed handiwork from the ateliers is really fascinating for me.
Just learning about the sheer amount of work that goes into each costume, just hearing about like how many hundreds of hours are spent just on one particular look that might only be on stage for, maybe a few minutes or in the background.
And I like the intricacy of the beadwork and the weaving that went into the Lion King costumes. I found that fascinating.
Broadway is coming back, and the spectators, actors, and designers can't wait to hear the applause again, the language Broadway knows so well and has missed hearing so much. For Vladimir Lenski, New York, Anne Rice, VOA News.
And with that, we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. My name is Jackson Mvunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voanews.com. We are also on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, where you can watch our videos. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.